Okay, so Keiko, love, as you mentioned before, love seems there seems to be some sort of developmental stages where love is concerned. So,
Yes,
so can you tell us a little bit about what these developmental stages are?
yes. So first of all, the most important thing is to understand for all of us that love, the essence of love is giving
Mm-hmm,
without expecting any return. This is the initial stage
mm-hmm,
that we all need to you know endeavor.
right.
And then there's a nurturing, nurturing love, and then forgiving love.
Mm-hmm,
So the nurturing is very important because sometimes love blinds people, and love sometimes we kind of mistake that love, the love actually spoils people
mm-hmm,
because it's lack of it, that love lacks wisdom.
mm-hmm,
But with wisdom, we can nurture
mm-hmm,
others, but and also nurture ourselves. And so the love has to have the nurturing aspect
mm-hmm,
within, because the reason why happy science advocate the importance of love that gives is that we want to create people,
mm-hmm,
everybody can understand the essence of love is giving.
mm-hmm,
So if somebody received love from somebody, for example, we don't want that person to take granted of being as a recipient,
right.
but rather we want to create everybody as a generator of love.
Mm-hmm,
So the problem in this world is because everybody thinks love is to take,
mm-hmm,
take,
mm-hmm,
take, take,
mm-hmm,
but nobody really emphasize on the importance of giving.
mm-hmm,
But giving is important because we want to create more givers,
mm-hmm,
not the takers.
mm-hmm,
And in order to do that, we really need to understand the wisdom aspect of love, the nurturing aspect of love. So
mm-hmm,
that comes the nurturing love, and then the finally the forgiving love,
mm-hmm,
because when we were young, it would be difficult to forgive others. However, when we grow older, going through many experiences,
mm-hmm,
we will learn to forgive others. And then hopefully we want to graduate this life
mm-hmm,
without having any grudges or anger or hatred towards anybody, but
mm-hmm,
just appreciation to all the people that we encountered and forgiving all the problems. Because we have to admit that we are actually forgiven.
mm-hmm,
The fact that we are living is that we are forgiven by God.
mm-hmm,
And then most important thing in this book is that the Master Okawa teaches us that we are not sinners.
mm-hmm,
The sin is to not to believe in God or Creator,
mm-hmm,
but we are all children of God, and we are all created to love one another.
mm-hmm,
So, and then the forgiving stage is actually the angelic, uh, correlates to the angelic realm
mm-hmm,
of the multidimensional universe. And so we are all aiming towards this, to become an angel
mm-hmm,
in this lifetime. If
mm-hmm.
not, maybe that for the future, and then the eternal progress goes on.
Okay. So
Yes,
I'd like to ask about a couple of points here. Well, first off, forgiving.
yes,
I mean, it is sometimes when you've been really hurt,
mm-hmm.
it's difficult to forgive. So why is it so
Yes,
important to forgive?
yeah. This is a very very good question because think about happiness and unhappiness doesn't really relate to right and wrong, because we cannot forgive others because we think we're right and they're wrong. It's just simply simple explanation.
Mm-hmm,
And yes, of course, there's a you know many cases. How can you forgive somebody who murdered, or who had an accident, or there's so many things.
mm-hmm,
But forgiveness is important for the sake of your own serenity of your state of mind,
mm-hmm,
the peace in your mind, and happiness for your mind. Because for the anger and the bitterness really consumes your soul. They are like a toxic. It really consumes your soul, and then it just becoming angry and holding on to the bitterness and grudge. It really creating unhappy, doubling kind of creating more unhappy people, which is for the sake of happiness of the individual, for the sake of the peace of mind of the individual. Forgiveness is important, and I think we cannot fully understand forgiveness unless we really go through our lives, because we're not, human beings are not perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. It's a different of degrees of the mistakes, but understand that the Creator forgives us for everything, and we're not perfect. This is just a one step closer to the forgiveness, I think.
Okay. So forgiveness, okay, I got that. So for forgiveness, it's essentially to clear our souls, our spirits of
Yes.
negative, of toxic, as you say, toxic stuff.
Toxic. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Okay. And so on a bit of a related note, I mean, life is not always good. I mean, there's a lot of evil that takes place, especially in this world. Where does
Yes.
evil fit into all this?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It comes to the essential question why God allows evil in this world. Well, yeah, I think it's not I think it's something everybody questions and doubts. And well, if you read this Lord of the Sun, you will understand that there's actually a kind of an educational process for all souls, and to show what kind of mindset, what kind of choices you make makes evil, and how can you undo it. So the evil exists for the educational purpose, because in heaven or the spirit world, everything is separated according to the state of our mind. That means that there's no evil if you're in heaven. However, the major reason why we come down to this physical material world is that that everybody from different levels of wisdom and awareness come together and go through the same training. Some can go by not being influenced by evil, but some are actually, influenced by evil and become evil. But it's actually essentially it is to train our ability to choose good over evil. And then the Creator or God, how can I say, trusting us that we can choose good over evil.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what you say about all this? I mean, it sounds so simple, but I mean, it is not easy to do. Like, forgiving
No.
others, especially if they've hurt you a lot, or accepting
Mm-hmm.
that evil is a way to teach lessons rather than,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's evil and stuff like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything in the book that that would enable a reader to, understand, get it within them, so they're enabled to love and forgive?
Yes. Well, actually, the chapter 2 talks about the like an anatomy of our soul. It's the like a function of a soul. Why we choose evil and not good. And also the chapter 3 talks about the different levels of love. So we have to understand that as a soul, as a transparent energy with frequency, we are always surrounded by different kind of energy, good and bad, positive and negative. And depending on our state of mind, for example, if we are positive, then we're not going to be too much influenced by evil. However, because the energy repels. However, if we become angry and sorrow and we are pessimistic and negative, the negative invites more negative. This is what the evil is about. The negative multiplies evil, unfortunately. So we have to initiate, we as a human being has to take the responsibility to change and control our mindset. We have 100% freedom to change our mindset. Even though we cannot change others, but we can change ourselves 100%. And we have to understand that it is us, within us, has the seed to invite evil or the seeds to invite happiness.
Okay.
So,
And of course,
yeah.
from happiness springs love and forgiveness
Yes, that's right. And also wisdom is very
and
important.
wisdom.
Yes.
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 Now wisdom. You mentioned this before, but what exactly is wisdom?
Yeah, that's a really difficult question.
Yeah.
Well, wisdom is actually more like everything. We want to. Part of the reason why we repeat reincarnation is because we want to become more wiser, like get closer to angel and God. And the wisdom is to understand the broader perspective. I think the ultimate wisdom is to understand the mind of God. Sounds a little too
Right. That's
too
deep.
much,
That's
too
deep.
big,
Yes. Yes.
too big. Yes, but to understand broadening our perspective is a part of the exercising of expanding our wisdom, I believe. And because knowing, understand, for example, in a human relationships, if we can understand other person why he or she becomes so quick to anger, or behave in certain way, if we can understand the background of that person, how he or she went through in their lives, we can forgive. I mean, we can understand. So understanding actually leading to forgive, and the understanding actually is equal of loving that person. So I think wisdom ties into understanding, how much we can understand. The reason why we cannot forgive or we become angry and we having grudge is because we cannot understand why the other person or the certain things doesn't behave in a way that you understand.
Okay. Okay. So all right.
Yeah.
So this is wisdom. Then is different from say knowledge. Then it's more about
It's yes, it's more like a deeper spiritual wisdom. Knowledge is a beginning, but also uh, by reading these laws of the sun, I think the wisdom part is focused on chapter 4, and it's I think it's called the enlightenment. Yes. So the ultimate of enlightenment. So it's I think there's no kind of a simple answer, but if we keep trying, broadening our perspective and try to open our mind and absorb the good teachings, the truth, I think there is a way that we can find our own how can I say realization.
okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Interesting. So Keiko, let's say you came across someone who's involved, involved with everything, all the last details that we all do in our daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
Is likely to be somewhat down, may or may not have, most likely has had something bad happen to him, so he's been in a negative state. And
Mm-hmm.
you had only enough time to tell this person one thing about how the teachings in the book can be used in their life. What would be
Oh,
that one?
that's
What would be that one thing you tell them?
That's a tough question. I would say life is a workbook of problems to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
And we are here to grow our soul. We're here to grow our capacity of love
Mm-hmm.
and wisdom. So anything comes in any negative incidents, Anything is a nourishment. We have to take it as a nourishment of our soul,
Hmm.
and it is like a gift from God disguised
Hmm.
to
Okay.
grow wiser and more loving, become more loving person.
Right.
I know it's difficult. It
Yeah,
is
I mean
difficult.
it is. I mean it's,
It is, yes.
but yeah,
It's a lot to digest, yes.
yes, and it's hard to do,
It
particularly.
is hard to do.
Yes.
I think it's, by reading books helps, and also by having some friends who can understand you helps. So it's a combination of everything, I think.
Ah, right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Keiko, in the last minute or so of this interview, are there any last words of wisdom you'd like to share to maybe inspire our listeners?
Well, I mean, I really would like to encourage everyone to, at least once in your lifetime, to read the laws of the sun, to open your perspectives and then understand that we are all came from one source, and we are all different branches of one single tree. And we need to overcome the differences, and we have to understand the importance of love, nurture, and forgive others, and believe in our true divine nature, and understanding and believing other people's divine nature or Buddha nature.
Mm,
Oh,
okay. Well,
yeah.
very interesting words of wisdom right there.
Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. So, in closing, then, the book is The Loss of the Sun, One Source, One Planet, One People, and the author is Master Ryuho Okawa of Happy Science. So, Keiko, thank you very
Yeah,
much for being an author story. Arigato
thank you.
gozaimasu.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It has been an honor and pleasure. Thank you very much. ありがとうございます。
You're welcome. So, everyone, feel free to check out The Loss of the Sun, and of course, feel free to subscribe to our channel as well.